After 5 songs, the band members had begun quarreling on stage. This eventually led to blows between the Flegel brothers. Reimer announced on stage that it was the band's final show, and Wallace proclaimed, "My music career is over." A guitar was smashed. Patrick Flegel reportedly continued to play by himself and had to be coaxed off stage by security. My music career is over. I mean, that's great. That's the same as the Tiger King line of "I'll never financially recover from this." Welcome to Every Album Ever with Mike and Alex, the podcast where we listen to every single album in the world, whether we like it or not. It's a whole new discography per episode. My name is Michael Mansour, and I'm joined, as always, by my LA Blue co-host, Alexander Volt. Say hello.
Hello.
And today, we'll be discussing every album by
women, but I feel inclined to say women be shopping. I don't know why.
Indeed, they do. boy, do they know that you're correct about that assessment, Alex. This is requested on Patreon by Colin. Thank you so much, Colin, for supporting us and hanging out with us and giving us your money and being very patient while we finally got to your request. We're not accepting any more requests on Patreon for the time being because Alex is leaving the show by the end of the year. So until then, we are fulfilling all of our duties. We're tackling every single request. There's a million of them. We've officially locked down.
We've whittled it down.
We've locked down every single week until the end of the year. Every request is getting done, and there's very little wiggle room. There's no wiggle room.
What used to be a boulder is turning into a pebble.
Damn straight. It's getting done. And what really helped, because we have some big episodes coming in the next few weeks, long episodes, what helped was Colin requesting this band with the shortest discography that we've covered in a long time.
It's not my cup of tea, but it is appreciated.
It is so appreciated. I had no idea what to expect with this, and I think some people were like surprised and pleasantly surprised that we're covering this band. And I have no idea who they were until now. Brand new for me. What about you? Brand new?
Brand new.
Brand new. And now we've heard all 3 records pretty much. So what do you think?
Yeah, not for me. I like some of the things they do. I'm more inclined to lean towards their math rock stuff. It's a hard sell selling me the like lo-fi indie rock pop thing, which these guys do. I can admit a few times there were a few songs I didn't like, but at the end of the day, I was like, you know what? Don't like this song. However, if you are a fan of the genre, I could see how it's appealing.
I'm not going to fully disagree with that. Maybe a teensy bit, but more or less, the math stuff is, I think, incredible, super creative, very unique, a little bit reminiscent of my favorite Sonic Youth, the early Sonic, the Confusion of Sex Sonic Youth. A lot of shit that sounds like it came from that era. And then the other stuff, the indie stuff you're talking about, it's like indie and garage rock, and it's weird. It's weird how they share albums, these 2 types of songs, not because the 2 vastly different styles, which they are, but it's because it sounds like, I don't know anything about this, but I don't know who wrote the music. It sounds like 2 completely different human beings writing 2 completely different types of songs. And it sounds like one of them is like, nah, man, we're going to make it big. We're going to play these really catchy poppy songs. And the other guy's like, nah, fuck that, man. I want to get weird. And it's a little jarring because of how indie poppy, garagey, the stuff that I really don't like, how hard they lean into that on those songs and how insanely hard they go into the crazy abrasive stuff. It's very unusual.
Yeah, it's this. I've never been a fan of the lo-fi indie rock scene. Multiple episodes where I've talk shit about it. So it's always a hard sell for me. They're like if Tame Impala didn't get famous and was a little more weird. So yeah, I would think, you sick fucks who like Tame Impala and like Burger Records type things maybe more inclined to like this band.
I've heard one song of theirs that I don't remember, and they're one of those bands that it's obviously not going to cross my path given the stuff that I seek out and listen to, but I'm not dismissing them because I have no idea. But
I thought because this is going to be a shorter episode, initially I thought Tame Impala was fun and leaned more into the psychedelia, but it got too poppy for me. And also I'm like, okay, I have bands I like that do the same thing over and over again, but he's doing the same thing over and over again. And this is very not the type of music I want to hear repeated records of.
Yeah, there's plenty. I mean, we covered Wild Nothing recently, and that's another thing where it's like, yeah, if you like that not synthy, that the dreamy indie stuff, the dream pop, whatever the hell you call it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's fine. If you don't, stay far away.
I do just find the like modern bands doing the lo-fi sound so disingenuous. Like it's insane what you can do with home recording, where it actually this sounds like a studio production these days. But then this is like it's too far in the other direction for me.
I don't have a problem with it. I think it's fine because we don't have access really to the means that other bands only had access to. And so they sounded like shit because they had to. We sound like shit because we liked how they sounded like shit. So it's the same thing with like film. Like we have digital cameras. We recreate film grain and like blooms and inhalations and all that shit because we like we like the shittiness of it, even though now it's just considered beautiful. It doesn't even seem shitty anymore. But it's the same with that, where it's so I was talking to a musician about this recently, about it's not so much about getting a perfect take when you're making music or when you're recording music. It's more about making that recording feel different, making that recording seem different, feel different. And sometimes it's just the way it's recorded. Sometimes if you don't have a lot of range or experimentation available when recording, you do it in post, you fuck it up, you throw some lo-fi shit on, whatever. It's disingenuous the same way I think anything is disingenuous these days because we have digital everything.
Fair enough. I will say it is doing things more live and letting those human characteristics come through is something I am thinking about, especially after our Trail of Dead episode, where there was that one album, I think it was 9, where I was like, this is too clean. This is like they have like a warmth and a, I don't want to say sloppiness, but imperfections that make them charming, where I don't know, that's not like making your music sound shitty though, but whatever.
Yeah, not making it sound shit. It's the same way there's an appeal to any kind of like punk or post-hardcore or something more aggressive. And the same reason Steve Albini hated Steely Dan. I hate them for many reasons, but not just that one, but his was like, it's so perfect that it's becomes, bleached and sterile or whatever, where it just becomes about getting a perfect take. And that has its own place, I guess, for whatever you're doing. But not typically with the stuff we listen to, I guess.
I do like Steely Dan. These days, I can like point out the hypocrisy in certain things. Like I went to watch my first electronic dance artist because a friend had an extra ticket. I was like, the reasons I'm hating on this, you could say about metal, so I'm just gonna keep my mouth shut.
Fair enough. Yeah, it's hard to defend the shit that you love once you realize that it is just shit. It's all shit. Like really, all music is shit. Depending on who you ask. Like I listened. I think it was a while back. I was listening to this radio show, these comedians, and they started ragging so hardcore on Joy Division because they were just calling it like just the lamest, whiniest gay music. And it's like, that's funny, but you just got a different brain, dude. Like if you can't appreciate Joy Division, that's fine. It is shitty if you're coming from a place of wanting to, if you're coming from I don't know, just a place of not understanding or appreciating 70s post-punk. I mean, it's a whole different muscle. It sounds, it's a whole different animal.
Let me tell you where I lost respect for fellow men calling most other music wimpy or whatever, is when I found out a lot of dudes listen to Drake. Like, that invalidates you from so many conversations, especially now. But like, I was like, you know, especially the generation we grew up in, I was like really taken aback that dudes were like openly stating they listen to Drake, because it's one thing to listen to emotional music or like sensitive music, but I think without a shadow of a doubt, like bar none, like number one with a bullet, Drake is the like most bitch made artist ever, and a lot of dudes listen to him, and it's fucking embarrassing.
A lot.
It's embarrassing.
A lot, dude.
I'm embarrassed. I would say I'd be embarrassed for them, but I don't have the energy for that.
Drake, yeah. Honestly, Drake has become so. You have more of almost a personal vendetta of how much you hate his music. I consider him just as horrific as every other pop thing, like where you put it on in front of me and it just, I don't notice it at first, but after a while, if you put that shit on around me, and if I'm at a gathering and that's on for a while, I will start to get very rude, and I don't realize I'm doing it. I'm not kidding. This happened recently. I was at a gathering. The music was fucking horrible, and it was going on a while, and all of a sudden I felt myself just having a bad time. I was sitting there like, these are my friends, but I don't like any of them right now. And then my lady friend noticed, she's like, let's change the music. Like, she noticed my mood, like, and then as soon as I change the music, bam, I'm back. I'm back. Like, it's crazy.
I have caught myself doing that too, but I will try to like put it in the background. Also, I think I have a higher tolerance for it than you do.
Probably because I didn't even know it was happening. I just felt myself not having a good time, and then it clicked afterwards. Oh, it's because this music fucking sucks, and it's so loud, and it's all I can't focus. Fucking autistic brain of mine. But
before while we're in side quests, side rants, you're a damn fool if you're a regular listener of this podcast and you thought we weren't going to talk about D'Angelo.
We got to do it, baby. We got to do it because holy shit. Check out our episode on D'Angelo. I almost never get texts from you earlier in the day, whatever day it is. So I knew it was bad news before I even opened it. I knew it was bad news. And when I saw it was just the article, and I was like, no.
The way, like, we've lost too many greats this year, but I think with like Ozzy, I was like, he somehow actually did live a long life. 81 is nothing to like, it's sad, it's a passing, but he lived a full life. Brent, I think everyone thought Brent was a fuck up. I think everyone kind of envisioned a world where you wake up to that news one day. You don't want to.
We saw Brent coming some way or another.
And it was crazy because he's not at fault. Which,
well, that's the shocker.
Still tragic, but yeah. D'Angelo, also, I had no idea how young he was when he got started. He's only 51 years old.
51.
I think Brent was the same age. And it's just fucking heartbreaking. Like, Mike hates R&B, but D'Angelo is so goddamn powerful. He made Mike like R&B. Like,
you have no idea how many times I've gone back to that first album. I fucking love that first album.
I'm also glad this is a shorter shorter diography.
Sure, D'Angelo.
Shorter discography, because it allowed me to like just like revisit these albums this week. And man, what a like this been looking up like live performances of his. Like there's a great one he did with Questlove and some other guys where they perform Lady on Valentine's Day and they're all wearing suits. It's just, this guy's just one of the coolest motherfuckers to ever do it. Like,
yeah.
Also to be cool and like be a genius at the way. It's just like he wasn't nerdy. He just like he had it all.
He really did. He was. I mean, we go into full detail on the episode. It was episode 207, I think. Just a fucking powerhouse, and not only that, only 3 albums, which is the most heartbreaking thing, is that we're never going to get a 4th album, but each album a completely different thing, and each one just super epic in what it's doing. The motherfucker, damn that. It's like we always kind of like held it like, all right, when's the new D'Angelo? It's going to come out when we're not expecting it. Where is it?
There were rumors that it may have came out this year, but obviously, Cancer is a beast, and if it was dragging him down, but like if he has some recordings, I think the fans would love to hear it. But he has a flawless discography. Not many people can say that.
Well, he took his time with it, that's for sure.
Yeah, and he
made sure there wasn't a fuck up.
And I think that's impressive too in this modern age. To he had the 3 albums, and his audience never left. Voodoo was such a landmark album that his audience was there when Black Messiah dropped, and was probably even bigger because people like myself discovered him, as a young male. I was like, why do I want to listen to an album with a shirtless guy on it? Well, because some of the greatest funk and soul and R&B you will ever listen to. And then just 50, that's too young to be it's like it's old, but for death it's too young. It
seems especially young now, because I remember thinking when I was a kid, Frank Zappa dying at 53 or something from prostate cancer or something. I remember thinking that was like, oh, that sucks, but I think he was pretty old. Now 51 seems like, well, not just because we're fucking way closer to 50, but also it's like prostate cancer is pretty treatable, and it's like one of the, it's not safer, but it's like if you're a male and you're gonna get cancer, you better hope for that one. Pancreatic cancer, not so much.
Yeah, and it's just I read this piece where I didn't even think about it. Like a lot of these guys in hip hop and soul are like dying before they reach their 60s. Where like it's become so common recently, I genuinely forgot Coolio had passed away.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that too.
And then I didn't forget, but kind of like Biz Markie, of course.
I forgot about that one completely.
Of course,
holy shit.
Of course, Phife Dawg.
Oh yeah.
And then I apologize, the guy from De La. Like I like De La, but I'm not like hip to their members, and it's just like, yeah, these are, I don't know, these are prominent guys in the music industry succumbing to these awful health conditions.
Yeah, it is brutal, but well, we still got the music as always, but
man, yeah,
everyone's fucking dying.
I put that that it came in like the Black Messiah vinyl. Like I flipped it on my record holder, so the one where he's like playing that like gnarly, D'Angelo is playing like that gnarly metal guitar.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I put that up earlier this year, and I guess it's staying up for at least one more year. It's such a oh man, it's such a cool picture. Like if you saw that picture, you'd think this guy's playing like the gnarliest metal shit.
I know.
It's a cool guitar.
Meanwhile, you're just getting super horny. That's all
That's all that's happening.
So R.I.P. to D'Angelo. God damn it.
Oh,
rest
man.
in power, baby.
Yeah, man. Him and Prince doing crazy things in the afterlife, if that's what you believe.
Getting freaky. But
heaven's been seduced.
But back to this band, which sounds nothing like D'Angelo, nothing at all.
No, but it had to do it.
We had to. We have to. We have some notes here from our boy Tom Osman, who you should all go support and follow. We have, I believe it's a feature from Calgary Herald. I believe it's talking about their second album, or it's just sort of going in depth with their second album. And that's pretty much it. So this is going to be fairly simple. And yeah, so we got one lineup all the way to the end. We got Patrick Flegel. I don't know if it's Flegel or Flegel on guitar and vocals. Matthew Flegel on bass, percussion and vocals. Michael Wallace on drums, and Christopher Reimer on guitar, samples, and also vocals. So this piece says the Calgary Quartet had always been a combustible unit made up of 4 strong and stubborn personalities. Bassist Matt Flegel and his brother, guitarist vocalist Patrick Flegel, joined Wallace and guitarist vocalist Christopher Reimer to form Women in 2008, and immediately went into the studio to oversee the difficult birth of their self-titled debut. That's quick turnaround. Very quick turnaround.
Very quick.
Wasn't expecting it. Just immediately they formed, and here's the first album. Here you go. So I guess we just jump into the fucking first album.
Sure. Yeah.
Why the hell not?
Yeah, it's a short discography. Let's get into it.
So we got 3 records we're covering, 2 albums, 1 EP. The first 2 records are the albums. The last record is it's very unusual. It's a compilation EP from 2020 that's 15 minutes long. You don't often see a record listed with rarities and then it's like less than 20 minutes. You usually see a fucking hour and a half long compilation.
Yeah, I guess in the band's short lifespan, although they would go on to create a band after this, but in the short lifespan, it makes sense.
Yeah. So first record came out 2008, and the last one 2020, even though it's a more of a couple. The last last album was 2010. So let's get started. If you're ready.
I'm ready.
Hell yes. This is 2008's self-titled. So the lo-fi indie that you spoke of earlier, this sounds sure a lot like it.
Yeah, this is... I'm a little more okay if it's a little more upbeat like this. I don't find it as nauseating.
Yeah, this is fun. It's kind of cute. And it's basically an intro.
Yeah.
It's so short.
And I think these like bright synths give it some more personality than it would have if they didn't have them.
Yeah, they give it some personality. They also date it quite a bit. Remember all those fucking bands using that synth in the early 2000s?
Yeah, and obviously they're like throwing back to Velvet Underground and 60s era Nuggets-esque bands.
Right. So that's one. I mean, we listened to the whole song. I faded it out as it ended exactly.
Yeah.
So let's put on the next one because that's one half of the band, and this is the other half.
And yeah,
I was very perplexed when this came on.
I'm more inclined to like things like this.
This is great. I mean, it's almost industrial, like old school industrial.
Yeah, very like mechanical sounding percussion.
So this one gets Man, it gets weirder. It gets crazier.
It does get more
better.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, this is great.
Yeah, if this did the one thing, I would think it's okay, but it does go places.
And this guitar line.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to wait for. Great guitar line. This is fucking amazing. This is amazing. Like, so that's the confusing thing about this band is that they do shit that I'm like, ew, and then they do shit that's like, oh my god, like it's crazy.
And I've never heard this band before, but like those type of guitar riffs do like make me a bit nostalgic for that era when bands like this were almost, they rarely crossed over, but in the underground they were almost a dime a dozen. But it's very synonymous with my youth. So yeah, I hear a guitar line like that and it works for me.
It's fun. It's good stuff, and because while it is nostalgic of that era for sure, you know, the Smell bands that would play at the Smell, for those who don't know, LA clubs, of course. But with this backing, like with that weird lo-fi production and that crazy industrial percussion and drums, it gives it a different feel. It gives it a little bit more of a cold, unsettling feel than it would normally.
Yeah, it like this get the complete contrast in those two songs where upbeat, bright, fun stuff on camera, and then Long Care is perhaps their most punishing song. Like it does go on for a bit, especially for a band with very short album runtimes.
Yeah, it's a bit punishing for what they do, and then following that we get Woodbine, which is like an ambient interlude, except it's just weird hissing ambience that it's actually quite unsettling and atmospheric. It's long. I don't know why I don't hate it. Like it just landed on the right frequencies. It's done at it following Long Care. It kind of, you're already in that kind of headspace, so it just sort of carries it. So I ended up actually enjoying the fucking nonsense atmospheric interlude. That's like, is it 3 minutes or something? It's like too long. And then this is where things start to get mixed up because I like this album a lot. I think it's a great album. I'm going to keep this album. I'm going to return to this album. I think it's fantastic. On second listen, I feel that way more. On first listen, I thought I like this band a lot. This is a really unique, interesting band, but they also do some shit I don't want to hear again. And that started with Black Rice. Because, man, it's just not my fucking bag. I warmed up to it on second listen. I feel like it's going to warm up to me more on multiple listens.
Yeah, I get how it's not for you because this is their first like Velvet Underground worship type song. And I like Velvet Underground despite what people, I think people think you and me are one person sometimes, but
yeah. If one of us shits on a band, then we're both going to hell.
Okay. What can you do? But around the 130 mark, I think this delay effect comes in on the guitar, and it gets more in that like psychedelic vein than straight up Velvet Underground worship. Around
130, you noted the more psychedelic textures coming in. I noted the bass coming in.
Okay.
And it gets some more bottom comes in around there. So for both of us, that song turns around 130.
At the same time.
Yeah. It's because when they do this shit like that, it's just so much early aughts garage rock where clear. It's like you hear this band and you don't wonder how much they love 60s garage rock and Sonic Youth. Like there's no mystery there. Except there's more variety when they do the Sonic Youth clangy shit than there is when they do the indie garage rock lo-fi stuff.
Agreed. I will say it's one of the, while we're on the topic of the era and bands like that, I did see on their Wikipedia it listed that they played with the band a Vigoda, who I saw a number of times, never cared for. Like, no offense to them, they just weren't my thing.
Abe Vigoda, I think they were like a friend of a friend's band.
Okay.
I remember. Yeah.
But the funny thing is, the Wikipedia link doesn't link you to the band. It links you to the literal...
the guy?
The guy,
actor?
the fucking guy.
Yeah, the Godfather. Abe Vigoda.
Yeah. So,
also, I learned of Abe Vigoda from Conan O'Brien. That's how I knew Abe Vigoda for years.
Yeah. They, so yes, I think I was talking about bands of that era, and obviously they toured with some of them. So
yeah. Even though they do this thing that we clearly aren't fans of, they're great songwriters at this point. Really good songwriters.
One of my favorite songs of theirs is Sag Harbor Bridge.
Fantastic. It's short and instrumental, but goddamn.
Yeah, like any other band would be an interlude, but being short and sweet is kind of like their MO. But yeah, this is a phenomenal song.
It's got these really really busy guitar arpeggios. It sounds almost like a classical progression, the way it moves. It's very well done. And then you follow that with Group Transport Hall, so this is a song that on paper, you tell me what the ingredients are. I'm going to get that fucking cake away from me. But it's so beautifully written. It's another super, super short song. It's acoustic guitars. It's super emotional, but my God, it's just wonderful writing.
Yeah, that's one I was like, I wonder why these two songs are short, but like, was it Woodbine is like almost 4 minutes.
That's a good point. Yeah. What the fuck? Yeah.
Like that, that's their choice. But like, I feel like these two songs they've got legs on them, but maybe unlike the ZZ Top song, maybe they don't know how to use them.
Maybe they don't know how to use them. Yeah.
No, I don't really know. I just wanted to bring up ZZ Top.
Right. Any way to shoehorn ZZ Top in, I agree.
I really didn't do it enough. Biggest regret is that we didn't talk about ZZ Top enough.
We rarely talked about ZZ Top. We only seriously talked about them if like, they clearly have a lot of ZZ Top influence. We never talked about the insanity and the greatness that is ZZ Top.
Very rarely. Yeah, like somehow managed to like ride this fence of like dirty hard rock, but could also make a very sleek but still filthy song like Legs.
Filthy and dancey.
Yes.
Filthy and dancey. You could fucking move to it, dude.
Yeah, so yeah, that's my...
Pioneers, dude. They're so great.
They're great. And it's a 3-piece too. Insane.
I know. So I loved it on first listen. On second listen, I'm straight up calling Shaking Hand amazing. I mean, goddamn, that song is so good.
It lost... It didn't even take me second listen, but like it kind of lost me a little bit, but it really does settle into this nice groove. And I was like, I can't even be upset. Like the beginning threw me off, but it really does build into this nice song. And I think Shaking Hand is like their version of a buffet where you really get everything this band does. You get some of the Velvet Underground stuff, you get the 60s garage rock, and even at the end it kind of picks up and gets a little more upbeat with that like busy floor tom thing, and it's what a journey that song takes you on.
It's a journey. It's a sample platter of everything. It does it's a sample platter of everything without it feeling jump cutty. So it has these really unorthodox drums, and the evolution on the drums alone is so fascinating and so interesting and really engaging. So, and that by the end point, it is when it finally kind of grows into proggy. It's got a wonderful journey to it. If all fucking early 2000s garage rock sounded like that, I'd be obsessed with the genre. They're like, it's a beautiful blending of these simple things that are very nostalgic that we've heard for many years before, with a bunch of shit that we haven't heard. It's like they made a whole brand new thing with that song. I kind of wish they did more of it instead of just like the not dichotomized, but the black and white. This song, then this song sounds like that. Where it's kind of black. Everything's black and white.
Yeah, getting a little bit ahead because we still have a few songs, but like this is definitely an album where like I think if it had the follow through was better. Like I do think this is a great one. I don't think I have the admiration for it that you do, but I think if the follow through was better, I don't know. I think this would have landed better for me. And then this like hearing where that second album went, I'm like, oh man, I had these like ideas of where I thought they would go, and they chose to do something else.
Indeed, yeah, same. Because there's so many great moments here, and I mentioned earlier about the Sonic Youth stuff. Like January 8th is straight up pulled out of Confusion of Sex. Like it sounds so much like it would be on that album.
Yeah, you got the like off note instrumentation, and the something that Sonic Youth and then of course Trail of Dead do that you get here is where like it picks up speed and the BPM and stuff. So
yeah, picks up speed when the snare rolls come in. Whew, yep. Man, feels great.
Another song I didn't thought I cared for, but was Upstairs. But let me tell you, when it takes that dark, noisy turn, I'm in.
Yep, 150. I wrote the same thing down. It single-handedly turns the whole song around.
Agreed.
It's such a great section. Yeah. And because I knew it was coming, second listen, I enjoyed the whole song more.
You're like, it's like some people don't think spoilers ruin things because it's like, oh, I'm looking forward to that. So it's like one of those instances.
Yeah, like if that's actually with a lot of things where like if a section on the end of a song blows me away, then I will sit through hot garbage for 3 minutes. I did that with so many fucking thrash bands in high school. My God, 9-minute songs for one section. And it closes with Flashlights, which is like a very lively. It's a very live sounding recording. It sounds like they're in a basement or something.
Yeah,
it's a little bit more meandery, a little bit more dicking around.
Yeah, the bass, provides a solid bedrock for this. Is the drums and guitars get to do some of that dicking around, and then there are guitar parts that sound like an alarm going off, and then the track gets very distorted and fuzzy.
Yeah, it's the nuttiest thing here. It's maybe their nuttiest song, actually.
Yeah,
now that I think about it.
Yeah, we're not really going crazy after this. So
no, not so much. Yeah, but at this point, I was very pleasantly surprised. I found myself charmed to high hell. Like I thought, like this shouldn't have worked for me, but god damn, you can hear just how unique some of this writing is. I'm gonna check this real quick if it even says who wrote this, and it doesn't. Yeah, I have no idea who the hell wrote anything in this band, because it doesn't say. There's no liner notes for whatever who wrote the music. But I mean, I'm assuming it was a combined effort. But that's more confusing to me because the band is so fucking split in half. It's so one or the other.
Yeah, I'm sure if people own the album, they can look into that, but not really credits on the interwebs for this.
No, not really. But as for some of the context behind this album, this piece says the debut album was quickly followed by a grueling 25-city cross-country tour. While the album was well received in some circles, particularly by music critics, that acclaim did not always translate to large crowds eager to soak up the band's lo-fi experimental vibes. We showed up in Thunder Bay, and it's the most depressing town in the world, and nobody was there. Matt Flegel groused to Post Media at the time. Still, after recording that first album and surviving the rigors of a lengthy Canadian tour, the guys figured the rough patch was behind them as prep work began on a 2010 follow-up. I remember after the first one was done, it was like, that was a really tough push, but we got it, and it's going to be so much easier from now on, says Wallace with a laugh in a phone interview with Post Media from British Columbia's Southern Interior. That didn't ring true whatsoever. It became quite the opposite. So, are you ready for the next one?
Boy, oh boy, am I. I will just say, as we're talking about interviews, I'm seeing that they also played with Deer Hunter. I just saw, I forget the name of the guy, but one of the guys in Deer Hunter, it was from like 10 years ago, where the interviewer was like brought up Taylor Swift for some reason. He's like, it's crazy. Yeah, all these like indie guys, all their kids are listening to Taylor Swift. And the guy from Deer Hunter replied, that's why I'm gay. I'll never have to have kids and I'll never have to listen to Taylor Swift. And it takes a lot for me to like read something like that and laugh, but I was just like dying of laughter when I read that. That's so fucking funny.
Yeah, I suppose I've thought about that. Like, you know, when I have kids, I have to actually put a concerted effort into not judging what will be their horrible taste in music, because that's just what happens with just kids.
It does. And you don't want to put...
You gotta love them regardless, baby. they can like all the dumb shit they want, but I have to keep my mouth shut.
And you don't want to push your stuff on them too hard, because then they'll just hate it later on. That's not...
Exactly. I hated the Beatles for years because of my dad. Of course, the Beatles are great. Duh. But if you force them on your kids, they're going to be annoyed. So, time to move on. You ready?
I'm ready.
Hell yes. This is 2010's Public Strain. More lo-fi, you say?
Damn, this one. What an impressive Wikipedia page. It's longer than their actual Wikipedia.
That's pretty funny. So my initial immediate problem with this was that the vocals sound exactly like the first album, production-wise.
This is... I don't understand the world. I don't understand how this has way.
We'll get into it. Yeah, we'll get into it. I actually like this opener.
I don't
because it's minimal and not played like a normal song. If there was a drum beat and guitar lines, I'd fucking tune the fuck out.
It's one of those things where it's like it's fine on its own. However, looking at a complete work and how it's setting the table, not so much for me.
Yeah, I'm not gonna...
And again, another song where I'm like, you had two bangers that were short songs, and then this is... I kind of get more what they're doing with this. You know, we got the strings now, and they're building on it. You kind of get this small wall of sound thing going on.
Yeah. The string textures, they do sound good. Because they're like everything, it's just fucked up in a little bit. They're a little bit distorted. It's not super common with strings, so it's not bad. However, this one was definitely a letdown for me.
I agree. There's maybe 2 or 3 songs I like on here because they remind me of the first album, but yeah, this not my really not my bag.
I think I like more songs than you for sure. As a whole, it just feels very uneven, and the indie garagey stuff is really going hard, and some stuff. So like, was it Now with the Hall, which is track 3? It's like, if it wasn't for the production, I would say there's no reason for that song to exist, because that's like the most interesting thing about it. It's like a twisted kind of horror version of a regular 60s garage rock song. I didn't like it on second listen. I'm better on it in second listen. I still can't say I like it. And then by the time Penal Colony comes on, checked out. I mean, like, this is already like, wow, this is boring.
I do not like Penal Colony as well. Narrow with the Hall, I have like this like weird descriptor where there's like these Velvet Underground songs and maybe even Lou Reed songs where, like, you know, in a movie when like a character gets like knocked out and they like almost die and they're kind of ascending to heaven, like it kind of feels like music for that, where it's like very jangly and like outer worldly, and this feels like a softer, like Black Angel Death thing, which is kind of a weird comparison, but it's been a rough week, so I'm doing it. And then yeah, Penal Colony is in my opinion cookie cutter, minimal, dreamy indie pop rock. And it does bleed into Bells, so you can kind of view them as one thing. I was kind of optimistic for Bells because when it bleeds into it, it does get ominous. So I was like, okay, this is going to be a darker song. And they make the odd choice to continue this pretty like minimal, dreamy feel. And I was like, well, you just like did that for a few songs and we're doing more of it. Okay, I guess it's a good thing I'm not in this band.
That's funny about about Bells coming in and kind of like almost enjoying Bells more. Or I mean, I enjoy Bells more than Penal Colony, and it's not even a song; it's just an ambient track. It for some reason it just works. It's just kind of effective for what it is. But we skipped over Heat Distraction, which I actually like that one.
Yes, that's one of the best songs on the album, in my opinion.
Easily, yeah. And at this point, I don't like any of the vocals on the album. I think they're pretty they're pretty forgettable. They're very normal. They're like, it's very much a dude just like coming up with melodies and singing over it. There's nothing wrong with that. But when you hear music that's like really crazy and interesting and odd, you kind of want something a little bit more than just regular pretty vocal lines. That's just a personal preference. But Heat Distraction. So there's a dissonant guitar at a minute in that is insanely Beefheart sounding, and there is just stuff on here that tonally sounds exactly like Beefheart. It's crazy.
Yeah, I like how it's kind of easy to do that like dissonant, like off note guitar sound or any instrument with strings, but what I found impressive was the drummer being able to match that almost like off like BPM feel and stick with it in a like comprehensive sloppy way, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it's closer to the proggy stuff from the last album for sure. It's a very jagged song. I like it quite a bit. Another one that I like a lot is China Steps, because man, that bass line it's really repetitive. It's really unsettling. And then get the scrapey ass guitars. Even the vocals are creepy and fitting of it, which I appreciated. And it's like that song. It's like, how the hell do they do this song like that? It's super fucking cool on the same album as Penal Colony. Like that. That's the shit where it's like, what the fuck? Like, I like diversity now, but I like being unexpected and like being, two completely different songs in the same album. I love that. But one is so engaging and the other one is so boring that it's just confusing. You can't get over it.
They had a few bad tours and they said, fuck you nerds. We need to appeal to the masses.
Oh man.
Which apparently,
well, it worked. They fucking, this is way better received than the debut for some reason.
I don't know what this world's come to. We don't have D'Angelo in the world anymore. Almost like perfect reviews.
It's widespread acclaim.
Oh man,
this is why the fucking world is stupid, and why you should never trust publications with your art. It's an insane. Even saying it aloud, it's like, well, duh. Why would you ever trust a fucking publication for art? The same thing. Like, oh, I'm gonna trust the government with my art. It's the same fucking stupid. Like, no, you go individual. You go to individual for art.
You know what's funny is on Trail of Dead, I brought up how I thought sources and tag codes. I'm sorry, whatever. That album was like one of the best albums of 2002, and you're like, well, what else came out? And I was like, I don't fucking remember. So I looked it up. And boy, oh boy, the retrospective 2002 list versus what was actually going on is insane. I remember Beck's Sea Changes coming out, and I think it is a whatever album. It's
I don't remember any of it. I might have heard it once, but you're not the first one I've heard saying like, what an overrated piece of shit.
dude, I remember like near flawless, instant classic. And I will say, I think there is something about like bearing your soul and making one of the most depressing records of all time. Like, it's impressive, but let's like, everyone, album of the year. Retrospective 2000s barely cracks top 50. So like, that's what time will be more honest than the
yes
instant reactions.
Always and forever, because we're talking about all these, how acclaimed this album is. This was 2010 when everyone was all about that shit. Everyone was all about, what was that fucking stupid ass song that was played on loop about the school shooter? Fucking
Pumped Up Kicks.
I fucking hated it. I hated that song when it came out. I heard it it was shoved down my fucking throat. And
you couldn't escape it. It was
couldn't escape it.
It was everywhere.
Like a real school shooting. You couldn't escape it. It doesn't hold up. That shit doesn't hold up. I mean, maybe if you like the song, fucking whatever. We disagree. It doesn't matter. But like, if that shit was all around there, obviously they're gonna like this one more than the debut. I can't say those two words because I'm retarded. Obviously, this fits in with the era, so all the publications are gonna fucking grab onto this shit. Whereas that first album doesn't make any sense. It doesn't fit in anywhere. Some songs fit in with the era. Other songs don't at all, of course.
This is kind of the time Tame Impala is coming to. Arcade Fire. Fucking Drake. Yeah, this is fucking Vampire Weekend. Yep, all dude, the water. Oh man, the vibes are so rancid. I mean, there's some good shit like Deftones' Diamond Eyes and Flying Lotus.
Oh yeah,
Flying Lotus. There's probably more, but just like kind of skim. Swans.
Of course, Swans came back that year.
Yeah, MIA before she turned shitty. Fucking Weezer put out an album about the fat guy from Lost. Remember Lost?
Oh, is that what? I almost thought you were serious. Like, oh wow, you're friends with that guy?
No, they did an album called Hurley. Like, they put him on the.
Are you serious?
Yeah, look it up.
I have to now.
It's just called Hurley, and it's just a picture of the actor who played Hurley on Lost.
Are you fucking kidding me? Oh my god, it literally is. I thought you were kidding.
No.
Why wouldn't anyone think you're kidding? They did that.
Yeah.
They fucking did that.
Yeah.
That's the best thing they've ever done.
Well, actually,
I can say that because I don't like Weezer very much. But
the first two albums,
I like a couple songs,
dude,
but it's not my bag.
Even on top, rate your music, top albums of 2010. The band we're talking about, Women, Public Strain, is in at number 20. You know how crazy, insane that is?
Wow.
So obviously we're gonna catch some hands in the comments.
Oh no, we're gonna our fucking stupid opinions get us in trouble again. Oh no.
You know what? It was another shit band of that era, MGMT. You should have never bought that. Oh man, you like reignited all this shit. Oh man. I'm glad you did though. I'm glad you did. Like, everything is making sense now. I'm Neo at the end of the first Matrix movie.
You are the one. And so we're really shitting on it now. Like, I don't hate this album. I think it's decent. I'm not going to return to it. Thing is, there's songs in here that I think are fucking awesome. Like,
the only reason I'm talking about this is because I think they're great songwriters, obviously.
Yeah.
I think they're very capable of writing like interesting stuff, but for me personally, this ain't interesting.
A lot of it isn't interesting. So some stuff turns it around for me, like Untogether. As soon as it comes on following China Steps, it's very underwhelming, kind of lets you down. But as it settles in, as it picks up, it works. It's a completely different type of song, which I appreciate. I like that one.
I think that is bad krautrock. It's like building like krautrock does, but I don't get that same like, oh, this is like the cool fun part, or the part where it peaks. Like like crowd rock. So
It's not very driving or hypnotic so much. I did think it was well written though, but it does keep things relatively mellow, which is actually not uncommon for every song on this album.
My other favorite song, because it's upbeat and abrasive and a total fucking outlier, is Drag Open. And even that song mellows out, but I still find the mellow parts far more interesting than a lot of other songs on here.
It's a good, yeah. There's a section, a very Sonic Youthy sounding section around 2:45 that's actually great. It's a bit of a mixed bag. I don't love every riff on there, but goddamn, the parts that hit very hard, and I like it a lot. I also like Locust Valley a lot. Like there's a lot of stuff on here that I think is actually very cool. It's the other stuff that is, whereas on the first album, it was like, all right, it's not my thing, but they do something with it and I can warm up to it. Here, they actually drag the album down. Like they are just worse at, I feel like the normal indie songs are just worse, plain and simple.
Locust Valley, the guitar's doing a lot of heavy lifting for me. That's the song where, and maybe because it's in the back half, where much like you, I'm not a fan of this type of singing, but it does become a little grating on me here. But while I'm giving credit where credit is due, I do have to say Eyesore is not my thing. I was worried it was going to be punishing. It is one of their longest songs. But I do have to give them credit that this is not a meandering song. It is not bloated with white noise. They have different sections and they build things and they take you places. So I can give it up for Eyesore, even though it's not my jam.
I do like Eyesore. I think it has great tone on there, great guitar tones. It's blending distorted acoustic with electric, which is what it sounds like. It's definitely constructed like 60s garage rock, like many other things, but it's got this beautiful breakdown around 2 minutes in. It's very obviously Pet Sounds by the Beach Boys influence for sure. And here's the thing, like on the surface, which is where I get where you're coming from. On the surface, it's not that engaging, but underneath that, it is well written. So I'm better on it. And I do also appreciate the very long, nice emotional fade out.
Sure. Again,
yeah. Venice Lockjaw stinks. That's the last thing I'll say.
Yes. Locust Valley at least had interesting music. Venice Lockjaw similarly lost me.
Locust Valley sounds like it's one of the things. It's one of the things on there that sounds that it could be boring, but it ends up working pretty well for me. Venice Lockjaw has, I think, a really beautiful chorus, but everything else is it just bored me. It's a ballad, you know.
I didn't realize how beloved this album is. I take nothing back and would say the things I said, but now I know.
Yeah, I mean, this is all stuff we learn after hearing it. Like it was obvious. Like, oh, what happened? It was weird because I was convinced on first listen of the first album that with a band doing this kind of crazy shit, obviously they're gonna get more technical and more deep, and they went backwards, and that was like, oh well, again, now the band's done. All right,
yeah, and yeah, if you didn't bring up that stupid pumped up kick song, I would have, but I never found out.
Oh shit, but. Yeah, we're not giving picks this episode, but this would definitely not be best. I mean, that's pretty much.
I mean, yeah,
that's obvious.
You know how we feel. We fucking.
Yeah. So from this piece, it says, according to drummer Mike Wallace, the recording of Calgary noise rock band Women's sophomore album was supposed to be a smooth ride. While the appropriately named Public Strain became one of the city's most acclaimed discs and a pivotal release for its Calgary-based record label, Flemish Eye, it also marked the beginning of a premature end for the band, which would implode after an onstage fist fight in Victoria while touring the album. Ian Russell, head of Flemish Eye, Ian Russell, head of Flemish Eye and the band's manager at the time, says the recording sessions were tense, with certain members butting heads over creative direction.
Oh, there it is. There it is.
I knew it.
There it is.
Who's the fuckhead who won all these bitch ass indie songs? Let me at him.
Man,
He says both Reimer and Wallace stormed out of sessions on separate occasions. I think it was just a difficult time, says Wallace, about the recording process. There was just lots going on. It was after we had just started touring extensively. You're coming home and trying to salvage some kind of relationship and return to some kind of a normal life. We also had to have jobs, so everyone was picking up part-time work, working in warehouses, and whatever we can get our hands on. It just seemed like a frazzled time to try and ground yourself and write a record. Oh my God! So many. Look at this fucking the filleting on this piece. It was certainly in an acquired taste territory, but BBC Music named it one of 2010's best albums, and the Boston Phoenix proclaimed it a triumph and mini masterpiece. Are you fucking high? Whoa, dude!
Acquired taste, my ass. The first album is acquired taste. This is clearly built to do something. I don't agree with it, but it's built to do that.
It just struck me as a little bit strained, but this is also interesting. It says by that point, the band had earned high profile kudos from some of their musical heroes, including Wire's Colin Newman, Scottish band Mogwai, and San Francisco's Deerhoof. Like, all right. I get that, but is it for this album? Is it for this album? Really? This? What the fuck am I missing here, dude?
Out of fear of running into him, because it has happened a few times, and I hope to God he never sees this. I realized with Ty Segall, his mediocre music exposed a lot of my musical heroes because they think he's the greatest thing since sliced bread, and I couldn't disagree more.
I want to have an opinion. I haven't heard any of his stuff. I've heard it. I'm not convinced. I'm not very excited to hear it. I don't feel like I'll like it, but also I've heard literally zero.
I'm going to leave it at that because
all right.
I've ran into him 3 too many times. I don't need to run into Ty Segall more than once. So 3 times was too much.
But Tom notes here, he said the band toured Europe where shows were apparently well attended. Then they came back to Calgary for a tour of North America, which is apparently where the horror show started, with persistent van problems and rising tensions in the band. This piece goes on to say, Acclaimed magazine ran a detailed and perhaps unintentionally comical blow-by-blow account of the October 29, 2010 dust-up at the Lucky Bar in Victoria, BC.
Dude,
after 5 songs.
I thought this episode was going to be nice and clean. This episode rules.
Yeah, I mean, this is pretty funny. I did not expect this to happen. After 5 songs, the band members had begun quarreling on stage. This eventually led to blows between the Flegel brothers. Reimer announced on stage that it was the band's final show, and Wallace proclaimed, "My music career is over." A guitar was smashed. Patrick Flegel reportedly continued to play by himself and had to be coaxed off stage by security. Oh, shit. That could be in a TV show.
Brothers, this aren't made to make indie music. We know this.
Indeed. So needless to say, the rest of the tour was canceled. My music career is over. I mean, that's great. That's the same as the Tiger King line of "I'll never financially recover from this." It's the same shit.
It's up there. Or Robert Durst in the Jinx one.
I don't know it.
It's like where this deranged billionaire, where everyone knows he murdered people, but they can never pin it on him. And then when doing the documentary, they left him mic'd up and didn't tell him, and they're like pressuring him. And when he's like, I need to take a moment because he's like older and more deranged. And then he was mic'd up and he like went and like confessed to like him, like he was talking to himself and basically like confessed, not realizing he was mic'd up. And that's up there. That's up there. Same thing.
That's wild shit. I didn't know that story. That's fucking crazy.
It's a crazy. I haven't watched it in a while, but it is a crazy story.
So it says in 2010, the official status of Women was that it was on indefinite hiatus. The end became more definitive in February of 2012 when Reimer passed away in his sleep due to a heart condition. He was 26. Are you fucking kidding me?
Horrifying.
Whoa, dude.
Horrifying.
Holy shit, dude.
Fucking horror. That reminds me of like the he is a little bit older, but the wrestler Bray Wyatt like passed away, and he's too young, and it was just random, and
that was super sad. That was sad.
Oh man, yeah. But 26 is younger, and oh man,
dying in your sleep and 26. Those two things they do not go together,
dude. And we didn't talk about it, but Ace Frehley also passed away. Did
he really?
Yes.
I didn't even fucking know that. Oh, what?
I'm just not a big Kiss fan. I'm sorry. It's crazy.
You found out. I didn't. It's I like them more than you.
It's crazy because he had a bad fall, and on the opposite end of the spectrum, it is insane. Despite all our advancements, humans could get a point where you can just fall down and die. Like, yeah. He fell down and then was critical, and at that age, I'm like, yeah.
That's it. Not to mention, if you're older, there's like this a lot of like it's like an old belief that a lot of old people have where it's like, nope, if I go to the hospital, then I die. And it's crazy how not far off that actually is, because of how much like accidents happen in hospitals. Like, I know someone right now whose elderly relative went in for a procedure, and now they're gonna die because the doctors like they fucked up the procedure, and all right, he's dead now. It's like that happens all the time. So don't take this as advice to not go to the hospital. I'm not saying that, but that is crazy.
I don't know if you would like it because it's Aquafina, although I will say in this role she is reined in. She's
not all black.
No, she's not doing her black scent. It's called The Farewell, and it's based on a true story about a Chinese family, and Aquafina is like American born and raised.
Sounds familiar.
And they go, your grandma is dying, so we have to go spend time with her, but you can't let her know she's dying. Because in their culture, you shouldn't live out your last days in fear and worrying. And it's this we'll just go and not say anything. When that movie was released, I think it was made like 10 years after, that woman was still alive when the movie came out. And I'm just like, your brain is powerful. Your brain is so powerful. Like, they gave this woman death sentence. Her granddaughter wrote about it, made a book, got turned into a movie, and she like lived for the movie's release.
That's crazy. It is. The human body is very crazy. There's a lot we don't understand because there's a lot about the existence as we know it that we don't understand. But that's a whole different conversation. Yeah,
that's way out of my wheelhouse that I would prefer this talk to friends off mic with.
Yeah, but in the meantime, don't go to the hospital. If you're dying, try to deal with it yourself. See what happens.
Suck it up. Walk it off.
Put your shoulders up for sure. So, all right. So he dies after that. So pretty soon after that, that's when the next project comes in. It says Wallace and Matt Flegel would join guitarist Scott Monroe and Danny Christensen later that year for a new band, originally named Viet Cong, but later rechristened Preoccupations after a loud public outcry over the original moniker. Wallace says pre-pandemic sessions for a follow-up to its third album, 2018's New Material, went smoothly and quickly in Montreal, but as with all bands, COVID-19 has made short-term planning difficult. So I'm assuming this is written around COVID times.
They put out a new album this year, and maybe I'll just throw it on to see what this incarnation sounds like.
Indeed. So we have one more record here.
I can put,
and this is it's short. It's an EP. It's short. So this is kind of in reference to it.
We should have done that before. Whatever.
Maybe. Because this was like a good while later when they put it out. There's even an announcement attached to it. So so this is in reference to Wallace. It says he said he still enjoys listening to Public Strain and wishes he could play the songs live again. The Rarities release also serves as a reminder of Reimer's considerable talents, he says. A lot of it feels like an ode to Reimer, Wallace says. It's amazing to hear his parts. I'm always thinking, God, what an amazing guitar player. That was a huge part of it, adds Russell. It was to make sure he got that kind of recognition, that acknowledgement, because he doesn't get to go on and have a band afterwards. And that is very sad, but leads us to the final record that we're covering. It's a very short EP of unreleased stuff, and this is the announcement. It says the 10th anniversary reissue of Public Strain will leave the original album untouched, now pressed on clear vinyl. Rarities 2007 to 2010 will be released digital on October 2nd, with a vinyl release expected to ship January 22nd. That's just a bridge version of the announcement. This adds, apparently, their label, Jaguar, apparently tweeted, everyone who bought the Velvet Underground's first album started a band. Everyone who bought Women's Public Strain started a band camp. That's cute. I don't agree, but it is cute. Maybe it's cute. I don't fucking know. I don't keep tabs on them.
Recreate the SpongeBob. All right, I'm out. I'm out.
I'm a head out.
I'm a head out.
Well, we still got the one left, so let's do it. This was released in 2020. This is Rarities 2007 to 2010.
This is so different.
Oh yeah, wasn't expecting this.
You hear this in like a medieval dining hall as people are drinking mead.
Yeah, but classy mead.
Yes.
This is beautiful. Vocals sound the same. All three records, vocals sound exactly the same.
I do think taking these strings, and it's like I could hear how it could be like a 60s pop rock style song, but this did something totally different, which...
Yes. Oh yeah. It's very raw. And then it's beautifully written. I mean, they're just good songwriters, so it feels great. Yeah, so that's a completely unique song. And the best song here, yeah, I would say it's my favorite song in this EP. I don't like this EP. I like it even less than the previous album. I
think because this is short, this almost went like 50-50 for me. I think the original Group Hall Transport Hall is a great song, but I don't make the rules here. This version is heavier, so it's better.
I actually like the other version better. I do prefer this. This version's great. It's psychedelic. It's spacey. It's more, a little bit more of a band song than like a kind of like a soft interlude type song.
I think
it's still great.
I think the right move was made in the context of that album to have it the way it is. However, I happen to like this.
It's good.
Yeah,
it's good, and it warrants having a completely different version. Like it's different enough to feel complete. Yeah,
for sure. Sometimes we do double dips. And I'm like, I don't know what the difference is, but Mike will notice. So I just trust him
sometimes. So I mentioned the Beefheart tone on the previous album. None of that shit comes even close to how much the tone sounds like it on Service Animal. I mean, the guitar interplay sounds Beefheartian, and the tone sounds like Beefheart. All on Trout Mask Replica. I mean, the tone of that album is very, it's embedded in my brain. Yeah,
so we did like the bookends of the album. The three songs on here, with Service Animal being one of them, is, I would say, they're all varying styles of 60s psychedelic, and I felt like that was more like flourishes they would use. They never like leaned into it too hard, where I think here they're like, that's what it is. They're like really going into that genre more than any other.
They sure are. Yeah, these are 60s garage rock songs. And the reason I'm okay with Service Animal is because the main hook is pretty fucking cool. It's a really unusual riff. It's I've never heard anything like it.
I do like those brighter guitar tones on this one. We didn't talk about it yet, but like coming after Bullfight, I appreciate how it sets itself apart as a different song.
Yeah, it definitely does, because it's one of those things. I was thinking about it when I was listening to it. Like, oh, that's a riff that if you stumbled on to playing that by yourself with a guitar, it would be a throwaway, but somehow they crafted it into this thing, and it's like it doesn't. It's like it almost sounds like an accident. That's like the main riff sounds like almost like an accident. It's really cool. However, Bullfight and Gray Skies. Yeah, I'm no, I'm bored. It's just the same shit. It's the same old shit.
I like Bullfight just because it's their most psychedelic song. And yeah, it is just straightforward, no thrills really. And then yeah, Gray Skies is my least favorite song on here. So
that one is worse.
That is the 60s pop rock ballad type thing. I don't really think it does anything interesting or new to hold my attention.
Yeah. That one it might be my least favorite song over there as an entire band.
Ooh. No, I think I hate Penal Call anymore.
I'm not going to blame you for that one. But yeah, the highs here are still pretty damn high, I would say. It's just like the previous album, the lows are very low for me. It does nothing for me.
It's so short, and really the only thing I like, nothing wowed me the way stuff on the first album or a song like Heat Distraction and Dragged Open does, but I think it's just a fine little bow on the band's career.
Yeah, I think if you're coming from a camp of loving the previous album, yeah, this is more than fine.
It's interesting. I don't know, because we're talking about like really 3 songs that, because one is an alternate, and then that opener, Everyone's So in Love with You, is just so fucking different that I don't know if these were written at like various points in time. So I can't even say like, oh, I would have liked to see where they were going. So this is a collection throughout the years. So it's
yeah. So that's where that ends. And yeah, we already pretty much talked about like the most current thing. Mike Wallace and Matt Flegel went on to form Preoccupations, and the album that came out this year is called Ill at Ease, which we will be listening to. And if we like it, maybe it'll make it onto our year-end list. Who knows?
Maybe. I do see Pat Flegel is also in a band called Cindy Lee, who I've never heard of.
Well, so Tom notes that here, and he says, Pat Flegel is, according to Discogs, most famous as Cindy Lee, and as a former member of Women. Pat Flegel is Cindy Lee now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And Tom says, may I just say, Patrick Flegel, Cindy Lee, makes for a very elegant looking lady.
Yeah, I saw, I'm just on Wiki. I saw the picture. I just didn't think anything of it. I do remember last year, I think I saw this album on quite a few year-end list. It is a beast of a double album, Diamond Jubilee. So I'm sure I'm almost more interested in this than the other band because it's so insane.
It does look pretty interesting. I'm trying to look at the Discogs here. Yeah, I wasn't expecting it to be so current. Like,
I think I do remember seeing this album on year-end list last year. The album art looks familiar. I may have saw the runtime and said, "Fuck." Yeah,
it's fucking. Yeah, it's very long. I'm curious, but I have to be very strategic.
I think having done my homework now, knowing that it's like this alter ego of his it like makes it more. I didn't know that before. Makes it like this crazy factor to it.
It also brings new insight into the name Women and perhaps the fist fight on stage. You never know.
Yeah. I wonder.
Well, they may not be friends at this point, it seems, but at least they're both making music. So there's that.
They didn't bury the hatchet. I would have.
I have no idea, honestly.
Oh, I feel like after someone I don't know. That's easy.
Yeah, if someone dies, that should do it.
That's easier said than done. I don't know the full story.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, that brings us to the end now. Yeah, pretty current. I'm not used to things aside from cardiacs. I'm not used to something just wrapping up and then we have a brand new thing that we can listen to right after.
Yeah, this is very interesting. Where like usually it's like, well, Joy Division stopped, and then there's New Order. New Order's been around forever, but this is like very active in the music scene, and like I didn't know this episode would end with Patrick Flegel having a whole drag persona where he makes music that looks very critically acclaimed. So very, very interesting. To be fair,
although proceed with caution because the second album is also critically acclaimed.
No, I'm not expecting anything. I'm just interested.
Going in open like we always do, baby. But
honestly, I'm not even expecting to like it. I'm just like, that's an interesting little wrinkle. I need to know.
But yeah, huge thanks to Colin for supporting us and requesting this. This is a fun one. No recap today because 2 albums, the EP, whatever. Usually our cutoff is 3 records, but if one is 15 minutes, that doesn't. You get how we feel. We like one, we don't like the other so much. There we go. Which is probably the opposite of everybody else.
Man. Yeah, that's the other thing. I just thought this was. I didn't realize until we started recording how beloved that second album was. We're going to be covering,
it's next week's episode. We're going to be covering a very hotly anticipated band, or to give a little bit of a teaser and semi-spoiler, one half of the discography of a hotly anticipated band. And
you could even say we smashed up their discography. Sorry, I don't know if that's too much of a...
Maybe. Yeah. I think if you worded it differently, then it would give it away, but you didn't. So I think it'll be... Okay, it's a week away, but they'll figure it out. But we're seeing even like... I know that the Apple Essential Albums recommendation is not gospel, but to see what they put and it's like... Who's doing this? Are you, what is, it's like, it's not, it just seems so baffling that certain bands, they just pick, this is the one, this is the famous one, this is the good one, this is the best one. Like, what are you talking about? Did you listen to the other ones?
I forget what band I threw on the other day, and I'm like, this is actually insane that Blue Oyster Cult, the album with Don't Fear the Reaper is not considered an essential album. Like, I'm not a big Blue Oyster Cult. I'm sure they have plenty of good albums. But you're telling me their biggest fucking song, that album is not that seems a little bit like an oversight to me.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, I was listening to Ecstasy the other day. I just threw on the first album. It's funny because I on our Ecstasy episode forever ago, I gave the first album best personal favorite. It was one of my favorite albums that I discovered on the podcast. I like it so much less now. I think it's a great album still, for sure, but I would probably give a different one best if I went back to those albums. But even then, on Apple Music, none of the ones that I think are obviously would be considered best are even on there, like as the essential. It's like, man, who is the world? What is the world?
It does happen a few. There may have even been like another artist where I was like, what the fuck is this? Maybe it may have even been Trail of Dead. Yeah, I don't think Trail of Dead has an essential albums thing, and it's just like, not even source tags and codes, not even that. Just give them the one. Give them the one.
Just give them the one. Jeez. But enough. Thanks so much for listening and watching and hanging out. If you like the video, like the video. If you hate us, go ahead and see you later. You can follow me on all social media at PandaMonkey, Alex on Blueski at
Octatron3030.
And our history guy, Tom Osman at Tom Osman Sounds on all social media, TomOsmanSounds.com for his music, and whatever comes next, his podcast. Links to all that in the description. Link to my EP if you want to shit on that in the description as well. And most importantly, baby, patreon.com/everyalbumever. That's where you go. Colin requested that's on Patreon. And even though requests are closed for now, there's going to be a lot of stuff once Alex leaves. It's going to be a whole new change. It's going to be a very different thing, but it's going to be very cool. So you want to be on that Patreon. Where you get bonus episodes. You get to see our schedules in advance. You get to join the Discord, be part of the community, talk shit, talk shop, talk music, It's all cool stuff. So go there, please, and thank you. Yeah, that about does it. So until the next one, see ya.